Always remember, the past is your lesson, the present is your gift, and the future is your motivation. Stay motivated and keep trucking, y'all. Motivate!
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Motivation and Trucking. Now, I know it's been a while, but I said, man, let me go ahead and make a quick video. Now, before I get into this video, if you can hit that like and subscribe button to help me get in that algorithm and get a little bit of motion to help out some people out here that, we think probably need this. But anyway, I'm making a video today to talk about trucking in 2025, and specifically, owner operation, like people that want to come in and start their own trucking business, whether it's a box truck or a rig. Now, I was talking to a colleague interested in starting his own business, and he was asking me if I was down to my last $20,000 and I wanted to do what you're doing, I wanted to get into trucking, what would your advice be? Now, my advice today is going to be totally different than my advice I would have gave him when I first started this, 4 years ago. Now, today, the advice that, what I end up telling them would be the advice that I would take if I came in the industry. And I'm not going to say that the stuff that I'm telling him now, I did, because I didn't do it. But now that I know, that's what I would have did. Would have saved a lot of headaches, would have saved a lot of money, and would have better positioned me later on down the line. So anyway, so what I told him was if I was down to my last $20,000, now when we say last $20,000, I'm going to assume that you are responsible enough to save that $20,000. And while you're down, not say necessarily down to your last $20,000, that's just what you was able to save. And I'm going to also assume that you're still currently working, because mostly only time a person's able to accumulate a large amount of money like that is because they, work hard. And, besides the on-off small minority of people that get like inheritance or win something, but majority of people that's able to obtain 20, 30, $40,000 in cash normally have to save it, and they normally get it from working a job. Small amount may, hustle, do whatever, but majority of them work a job. Anyway, that's not as important. I said, if you were down to your last $20,000, and with those assumptions, this is what I would do. All right. First thing I would do is not spend that cash. I will leverage that cash. Now, I know a lot of people online, the fake gurus and the fake financial gurus and all this, try to give you information, and nobody's a CPA, a CFP, or any of that. I'm not a CPA or a CFP or any of that. I'm just saying from my experience and what would have benefited me if I knew this information coming in, this is what I would have did. All right. So back at it. $20,000. You got $20,000. That's what you was able to save up. First thing I do, like I said, is I will leverage that money. I'm not going to spend my hard-earned $20,000 that I came up with, risk that. I'm going to leverage that with the bank money. Now, what I mean by the bank money is this. Once again, I'm going to assume that because you were able to save $20,000, one, you still have some type of stream of income coming in. So you're still able to pay your bills or whatever case, but you're still being responsible. So you're not like you're just down out in $20,000 and you don't got a job, you just try to throw your money in some. I wouldn't suggest anybody do that. I would say go get you a job first. Make sure you got income coming in before you try to jump in and invest in something. Anyway, I'm going to assume you're to your $20,000. I'm going to assume that you have decent credit, or somewhere around, 620, 630, 640, you know what I mean? Not absolutely horrible, but you can still position yourself to be able to get a credit card. All right? Now, feel me, get where I'm going. Now, once again, that 20,000 can either be in a 401k, or that may be 20,000 that you saved in an account. Either way, I will find a way to leverage that money and obtain me an unsecured credit card. Once again, we're going to assume that because you was able to save the money, you have decent credit or have some type of ability to be able to get a credit card. All right. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have perfect credit and you have to be perfect, but honestly, if you're getting into a business, you should not be getting into a business if you got a lot of baggage on you. You can't really climb the mountain with rocks in your bags. You need to let go of some of that baggage. So you should, be responsible and making sure you're getting into a business without a whole lot of baggage behind you. All right. Now, we're going to assume that, like I said, that you have decent credit, You still have some source of income coming in, and you're not going to necessarily spend your last 20,000 because you're homeless and you just like, man, I'm just trying to just gamble it. All right, some type of structure going on. All right, now let's get back to it. So the 20,000, right? So you got 20,000. I'm going to leverage that with the bank. I'm trying to get some type of unsecured credit card. Okay, somewhere preferably, I can't say the word, preferably somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. Okay, if you can't get you can't only can get like a $2,000 credit card. This could still, work. You might have to use some of your capital, but the whole thing here is to try to alleviate some of that pressure of spending that money so that you can be able to have that longevity. Because in any business, I don't care if it's trucking, I don't care if you're doing nails, lashes, I don't care if you're a mechanic, I don't care what it is. If you're drop shipping, I don't care what it is. You're going to start out in the red. Now, how long you stay in the red is predicated based upon the actions that you take coming in. All right. So once again, I will leverage the money. How I leverage the money is to get an unsecured credit card. Once again, the type of limit that we're looking for is somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. All right, we can get later down the line on what banks you can go with and all that. Really, honestly, that's on you and your relationship. And once again, I'm going to assume that you're responsible because you want to start a business. Because only responsible people can really last long and start businesses. I'm going to assume that you have some type of decent credit. So you should be able to obtain, a little small $5,000 or $10,000 credit card. All right, boom. Once you get that credit card, now you're interested in the industry that I'm in. I'm in trucking. So there's a few barriers into trucking, far as being legitimized and to be able to start buying a truck and being able to drive. There's a few steps you have to take, which is we already know getting your authority, assurance, the things that go along with authority, BC3, the UCR, BOC3. I said BC3, BOC3, UCR, and look, other small things, the insurance and whatnot. So with all of that stuff, the UCR, the BOC3, the authority, getting the insurance, all that should run you somewhere, honestly, somewhere between, you should be looking to spend about between 2 and 5,000. The reason why I say 2 to 5,000, because the authority is going to cost you about $500. The BOC3 and the UCR and all that should cost you about $200. And then it's the insurance thing. Now, I don't know what state you're in. I don't know your driving record, anything like that. But once again, we're going to assume that you're somewhat responsible and you don't have a horrible record. So you should have some deposit, because it's commercial insurance, somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000. And some of you may get lucky, already have insurance that would just add it on there, and you just have to pay your first month premium payment the following month. But more likely, you're going to have to put some type of deposit there. So you should be looking at putting somewhere between $2,000 to $5,000 there. So we're just going to go with the maximum number, the worst case scenario, and we're just going to assume that you have to put down $5,000. All right. Once again, we're going to leverage the bank's money in whatever sense they may be. Like I said, my suggestion would be the credit card. You could do a personal loan, but just the reason why I say the credit card is because what we're going to do is we're going to operate this business, the first half of this trucking business, just off of the credit card. All right. Now check me out. Some people say no, just check me out. All right, boom. So knowing that that's going to cost somewhere between $5,000, that's what I'm going to pay my authority with. That's when I'm going to get my BOC3, my UCR. I'm going to get my LLC with that credit card. And I'm going to also put my insurance on that credit card. All right. Now, the next thing you need, because you're getting into trucking, and I'm assuming that you're going to be the driver. I'm going to assume that you're not necessarily coming into this hiring, because if it was me coming in this, I'm not hiring nobody. You need to be in the truck. You need to know what's going on. You need to be building the relationships out here, because you're the first line. You're the front line to your own business. All right. So the next thing I would do, I'm going to assume that, like I said, you got a decent credit card, somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. Let's say you got a $10,000 credit card. You paid $3,500 to get your authority, insurance, and everything together. So all that's together, now we need to get a truck. All right. Now you down to $6,500 on the credit card. Now we all know you want to stay under 30% on utilization, but check me out. It's going to all benefit you at the end. All right. So we down to $6,500 left on the credit card. The next step is we need to get a truck. Now, in my advice, because your authority is new, I'm going to assume that you don't have that many relationships, because relationship with brokers and shippers, because you're not in the trucking industry. And even if you work for somebody, you work for a company, you won't necessarily interacting with the shippers and brokers in that type of manner. And a lot of people think that just because they were driving a truck, they understand the owner operation aspect of driving a truck. No, there's an employee aspect where your mind frame is an employee. Then there's the business owner aspect. All right, so you're gonna have to assume that when you coming in here for at least 30 to 60 days, you just out here building relationships, and that's where you're going to make all your mistakes at during that time. As well, a lot of people want to get into the trucking industry because they want to take advantage of Amazon. That's 180 days, which is 6 months. All right. So in that first, I would say the first 90 days, definitely you should not be worrying about buying a truck. All right. Now people say, man, you're just gonna cut your expenses. You do not want to run into any type of headache that is going to financially put you in a severe financial strain where it's going to then affect your personal life, because then that's going to completely turn you off from trucking. All right, it's going to completely turn you off, and you ain't going to be able to do it. You ain't going to be able to sustain yourself. All right, so we're not going to spend our 20,000. We still got our 20 grand because we leveraging the bank's money, the credit card money. All right, so we down to 6,500 because it costs us about 3,500 to get our authority together. We down to 6,500. My next advice would be, instead of buying a truck for the first couple months, go ahead and get the rental. All right, whether you're doing a rig or you doing a box truck, I say go ahead and get the rental. All right, so you're gonna go to Enterprise, Budget, Penske, one of them, and you're gonna put, of course, get the best rate, of course, negotiate the best rate, and then you're gonna put that on the credit card. Now, what that's going to do, that's going to give you at least 30 days to, go out here and collect all your money, get everything that you can possibly do. And while you're out here building and making the mistakes, you're not worrying about, man, how I'm gonna pay my rent, how I'm gonna pay, because you still have money in the kitty and you're leveraging the bank's money. All right. You don't want to ever put yourself in a position where your actual liquid cash, you're risking that. All right, now for me, I would never risk that. I mean, if I'm putting it into a stock, a Roth IRA or something like that, but I'm not gambling. I'm not taking it to the casino. Because I would look at a business the same way, because you don't know what you're doing. So you just gambling. So you got the potential of just blowing that money. So logically, right now, because that's what I did. I put my physical cash in when I first started, as well as a whole other benefits while using the credit card, which I'm gonna get to that. So like I said, I will honestly say the 90 days, I will have that credit card, pay the authority with the credit card, and then also put the rental on the credit card. All right. So what that's going to do is, like I said, leave you still a kitty to whereas if anything was to happen, you want to quit, whatever, you didn't blow your actual money. And then all you have to do is just, pay the minimum on the credit card or pay the credit card and just, get that out the way. And that's all you have to deal with. You wouldn't necessarily have blew your money. Okay. So we done got the truck. We done did it through the rental. We done put it on the credit card. So now we are financially, in a position where we won't necessarily drown if anything bad was to happen. Now, the positive of putting that credit card, putting that rental and doing the things on the credit card, which now that I've learned, because, you can check out my Patreon. I'm going to have a lot of videos on there, I'm saying, some type of advice about how to, financially position yourself in this trucking industry where you're not falling, to credit cards and, things that I use that kind of keep me afloat, but I'm not going to necessarily put that here on YouTube. The two main benefits that I see of you utilizing the credit card, the bank's money, in order to catapult your business is this. One, now that you're using that credit card, you're building a credit history now of utilization. Now, of course, you want to keep the try to keep that credit card on 30%. I'm gonna be honest with you, the first 3 months, it's probably not going to happen. But what's going to help you is the payment history. And then you actually utilizing the credit card. So then after 6 months, anybody that's familiar with credit cards, we all know after 6 months to about a year, normally it's between the 6 months and the year mark, they would give you automatic increases. Not only automatic increases, they will ask you, do you want an automatic increase? And they will also offer you other high limit credit cards. Now, reason why I say this is I don't care what nobody say. And you can look at Warren Buffett, you can look at Jeff Bezos, all of them. They go out here, they don't spend their physical cash, they keep their physical liquid cash in the stocks and into assets. Then they go get loans and they spend that loan money because it's cheaper to pay the interest on a loan than it is to actually pay taxes on earned income and actual capital gains on stocks. So, that's a whole nother story. I'm not a professional, just things that I research myself. I'm trying to hold on to my money. All right. And I'm also trying to build this wealth. So once again, that credit card, having that, paying the rental on the credit card, now you're building and you're establishing a relationship with your bank. And while you're making those payments and you're building that relationship with your bank, you're now positioning yourself, you're positioning your business to have some type of financial stability by having now access to cash or to capital in case anything was to happen. Once again, these are things I learned later down the line that saved me, that keeps me not really caring. That, you know what I mean? Like I'm good. Like once you position yourself, man, you good. As long as you pay your bills and you know you working hard and you position yourself, you good. So boom. So now after those 3 months, you've been able to make, you know, let's say $4,000 or $5,000 a week. $3,500 a week. That's $14,000 a month. You're spending about $1,000 a week on the rental. That's $4,000 a month. Plus the diesel. You spend about $800 a month on diesel. So that's again about $3,000 a month. So altogether, with your expenses with the truck, came up to be around $7,000. And so you should still have somewhere between $5,000 and $7,000 left over. Remind you, you still have your kitty, as well as I'm assuming you came in here without an extremist amount of bills like car notes and a huge mortgage. So you still should be able to pay, you know what I mean? Pay whatever bills you have, personal bills, as well as start to pay down that credit card or save a whole lot of that money. Because then what's going to happen after that 90 days, you'd have built such a great relationship with the bankers. Now you're paying the credit card down. You're actually utilizing the credit card every single week. When you're ready to go get a truck, instead of once again utilizing your kitty, keep that money to the side and just add to that 20. Because now after 90 days, maybe you've been able to save $500 or maybe even $1,000 a week. Now, after 90 days, that $20,000 physical cash you have is now somewhere near $35,000 because you was able to put actual physical cash away while paying on the credit card and keeping your truck and keeping your business afloat because you're not in a financial strain. So there's a whole lot more to this, man. I plan on going on my Patreon, making a video over there showing some of my credit cards that I have, that I utilize. You know what I mean? I just say this on here, I got Navy Federal. So if you know anything about Navy Federal, you know what time it is, man. I ain't talking no scamming. I'm talking about legit, being a legit member. None of that, no scamming, no none of that mess. You don't have to do any of that. That's not what we're doing over here. You know, we legit. So yeah, man. So I hope that was coherent. That was put together, man. I haven't made a video in a while. As you can see, it's still dark outside. December the 14th, I'm making this video during peak season. I'm running day, night, midday, all day. All right, so hope that was helpful. Till next time. Peace. Thank you, man. Shoot YouTube videos. Peace.